So here's the thing. People often say they should have been given more time, as if time is a cure-all. I don't think it's the cure-all that a lot of people think it is. I think if I kept talking about Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, people's deep emotions toward that game, for or against, would cloud their ability to hear this message. So I'm going to talk about another game, which people universally think is awful. Sonic Boom. Sonic Boom was awful. It was full of glitches, it didn't run the way they wanted it to, it was flawed from the beginning. The Game Grumps, though, after their infamous playthrough, got to talk with some of the developers on the game. The thing was, the developers knew the train wreck as it was happening, but they didn't have an option to just take more time. And it's not because of, corporate greed or whatever. It's because of how the development cycle in games works. For example, the vast majority of people who work on video games are contracted in some way. Have work on a project up until a project ends, and then they have to find a new project. To ensure their livelihood, these new projects are lined up months, sometimes years ahead of time. Ditching out on those projects would adversely affect their careers. Also be incredibly risky because any extra time they spend on this project isn't gonna be as reliable as starting a new project from scratch. You have a whole bunch of the people who made the game leaving the studio. Let's say you did have infinite time and infinite money. You can't just contract someone new and have them pick up where the last people left off. Those people need to learn how the game has been coded. They have to understand the project. So even if you have as much time to delay as you want, now you're going to have to bring in new people and get them familiar with the project and pay them enough to make whatever extra time you're developing the project worthwhile, which is going to be more than the people you paid originally. And now you have to consider, how does this impact the rest of our release year? Is this harming people who are doing work in other projects that expected us to release at this time? Is this harming people who work on tangential projects, like the Sonic Boom TV show? How would that impact sales or ratings or the livelihoods and reputations of those people? Game Grumps talked to Sonic Boom dev. They said that everyone knew that this game wasn't gonna be the best, and everyone hated that, including the project managers who were there to manage time and workflow. They just didn't realize there was going to be a problem until they entered internal testing, and by then, all they could do was try and make back as much money as possible. More time, even if it made the game 10 times better, would not have given back enough return to offset the harm that extra time would have done. Development companies are horrible capitalistic hellholes, but horrible capitalistic hellholes love making extra money for little effort. If all it took was giving a project more time to ensure more sales, they would do it 100% of the time. Bad games are often made because the industry is not built to absorb the impact of unforeseen development problems. That is a problem with the whole industry structure, not just one team not being given enough time.